Hey everybody, welcome to Elisa's Art Room. Tonight we're going to be working some more on our nature journal, so y'all come in and say hi, let me know you're here. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. I am currently live. If you're watching this later, it may be on replay. I am going to pull you guys up so I can see your chat on my other devices here. Hey Nancy. Hey Dawn. All right, there's one. Let's see if I can get the other one up here. Go slow. Okay. All right, I think I got them up. So we are working on this nature journal. The cover is not quite finished. We're going to put a little topper on it today or tonight. And that's what we're doing mostly. I'll probably play with the pages a little bit because I haven't put those together. Let's see. Hey, Angela. All right, guys. I think we're good. Looks like everybody's finding me okay. I've been having issues with people being able to find my lives lately. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pull the camera up top and we'll get started on this, guys. Alright, that looks good. Volume looks good. Okie dokie. So, we started on this last week. Hey, Lori. And got this cover done for the most part. Just got the basics of it and a little tie. And tonight we're going to work on putting a front on it. I keep putting it the wrong way. So there's a pocket that's in the back. They're very similar. I could honestly go either direction, but there is writing here. So I'm trying to remember to put the writing on the front. My stitching is a little crooked on this side. I was tempted to turn it around, but I think I'm going to keep the writing the right side up and just not worry about the stitching. It's like, oops. I did play with my sewing machine and cleaned it out a little bit and figured out that I was doing a couple of things wrong on it. My bobbin wasn't being loaded correctly, and my tension was way off, which it never seemed to change when I played with it, but I watched a whole bunch of videos because I never had these issues with my old sewing machine. And I don't know if it's just this one, but there was a lot of things that I was doing that was supposedly not right according to the brand. So I played with that. I didn't have any sewing machine oil, but there was a little bit of oil in there that I could kind of move around. So after I cleaned out all the lint, I did oil it. It does sound much better, I will say that. When I put it back together, it did sound better. So I'm going to try to get over to Hobby Lobby maybe tomorrow or the next day and get me some sewing machine oil so I can oil it up. So maybe my stitching won't be quite as bad. Let's see, who do I not say hi to? I think I got everybody. Maybe Nancy. Did I say hi to you, Nancy? I'm not sure. All right. So, so what we're going to do is work on the outside of this. I will probably put a pocket here of some sort. I'm not 100% sure because I already got this pocket back here. Is that the back? Did I turn it over again? I can't tell. Yeah, that's the back. Okay. I already have that one pocket, but I think I'll probably put a pocket here. I just don't know if I want to do it with fabric. Usually I would have sewed it at the same time if I was going to do a pocket. I might do it with less and just glue it, although I may sew around the piece just to make it look better. But I don't know. But we're going to work on a topper because I know I want to do that. So I played around a little bit and I'm going to try to put together a topper that will look halfway decent. So got some corrugated cardboard here I tore up. And I left this part on mostly because I want to be able to glue it. And it's easier to glue to this than it is to this. And then there's a little bits of the paper I left there. And I assume you guys know how to do this. Hey, Dorothy. But I can show you real quick. It's pretty easy. Let's see, where is my cardboard? Oh, there's some. I'll just do this little teeny piece here. So I try to pick corrugation that is thinner usually. This is fairly thin, not quite as thin as this piece. I'm not even sure if this piece will work. I just grabbed it, but you just kind of pull off the outside layer. And you can do it as much or as little as you want. You can use tweezers and things to help you kind of get all the little bits and pieces. And you just kind of play with it until you get the look you want. It's really not much to it, but that's what I do. I just tear off some corrugation and, you know, roughen up the edges around the edges. You know, I just tore around it, so I just ended up with that. So pretty easy. I do like to keep it thin, so I don't use the really heavy boxes, you know, that are thicker. I try to use the little thinner pieces. Okay, and this one I actually did kind of squish it a little too because I really wanted it not to get too crazy thick. But I think that's about the right size. I think I'm going to stick it, I think I'm going to stick it here. I'll cover this bee up. And it still leaves these flowers here and these two bees. So that's step one. I do want to put some white paint on there. I think I'm going to put some spatters. I tried it a couple different ways, and I think I like it better with spatters, so we'll do that first so that can dry. And I'm just going to use paint. If I can find my piece of scrap paper. I'm going to use this one. All right, and I'm just going to use some gesso. You could use gesso or acrylic paint. It's up to you. I'm just going to use gesso. And then you just want a little, you can use a paper plate or tray or whatever to mix them up with a little bit of water. So we're just going to use a tray. It's not going to take much. And some water. And then you just want some sort of a brush or a toothbrush or whatever you're using for spattering. I go back and forth. I do kind of like the fan brush, but it doesn't really matter. Do make sure everything is away because you will sure enough spatter it. I usually end up with it all over my phone and everything else. And I'm just going to tap this to do it. I might tap it on something harder than my finger. I just want to put a couple of spatters. I might do a couple of thicker ones if I can get it to cooperate. Okay, I'm not getting super thick. Let's see. I'm trying to get just a little bit heavier, just in a couple spots. There, that's pretty good. So we'll do that. Rinse that out. And I'll just stick that in there to wash later. And we'll let this dry. If it doesn't dry in a few minutes, I will hit it with the blow dryer. I might hit it with the blow dryer anyway, because it's going to take a minute. So I got some of those on there relatively thick. And see, I got spatters everywhere, because that's what happens. I'll just kind of halfway clean these up. At least I didn't get them all over my phone too much. That's a plus. Okay. Yeah, I think I will hit that with the blow dryer, so it's going to get noisy. Hey, Robin, you've never made a junk journal? Oh, they're so much fun. Once you start making them, you'll never quit. They're a lot of fun. knew it was going to blow away. I'm warping my pad. I do that all the time. This isn't real hot, but it's a little hot for my self-healing mat. Let's see. It'll flatten back down in a minute. Okay. Let's see how dry that is. That's not too bad. It's like one piece that was bubbled up there. All right, that's good. That'll work. And then I have some other bits and pieces I want to put on here. So I think I'm going to use that. And it's a butterfly, flower. Don't think I want that. Filled label. What else is in there? A mushroom. I think I have a bird in here. Oh, there he is. Birdie. Maybe, I don't know, we'll stick this here. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. So I just gathered up some little bits and pieces of nature type things. And I have a dragonfly I want to use in here. This is from the Dollar Tree. I want to use this one. Where can I stick you that you're not going to cause me issues? All right, so we've got that. All right, let's see. I'm going to lay it out first and decide if I like it, and then we'll go from there. So I think I want the color that this adds. I like it that way, the other way. Kind of like it that way. All right, so and I could do it on my cover, although it really doesn't matter. The colors on this cover are mostly yellow and black, a little bit of white, so I know some of these colors aren't in here, but that's okay. We're going to have some contrasty colors. Here, I'll just lay this flat. Okay. And I think and when you guys are doing these little topper things, you can do them as simple as you want or busy as you want. It's I go back and forth as to whether I do it simple or not. I debated on this one, keeping it simple, but there's so much stuff I wanted to put on it. I'm going to go a little bit heavier, I think. You want that underneath there. And a little mushroom. Bird. The stick was for the bird. Debate if I want it that way. If I want it this way. I think the other way. I could cut off all this and just leave it a stick, but it's kind of cool. It's not super sharp or anything. It's kind of mushy. So I don't think it'll create any problem as far as stabbing anybody. But I did want the bird to have something to hold on to. I think I'll put that higher, maybe there. So he can hold on to that. I'll try to get it to go in one of those grooves or something. This butterfly. Tried to have this somewhat planned out because I didn't want to take forever trying to figure it out, because sometimes it takes me forever. over. Maybe, let's see, move this flower over just a little bit. I don't want it on top of the birdie though. You stay over there. Like that. Something like that. Does that look okay? Can y'all even see that? Wow, it's so far away. Here, let me pull it up so you can see. I might put that botanical, I don't know. All right, let me pull it up so you can see if you like it. What do y'all think? Does that look okay? Is it too busy? Is it not? I can't say it's not busy enough. It's definitely busy. Is it too busy? What do y'all think? I'm seeing hearts. That's a good sign. All right. Everybody seems fine with it. Okay. Let me grab my ink. I might ink a few of these things. Find it. I think the blue's okay because there's blue in this dragonfly. Yeah, I like layering too. I don't know that I'm the best at it. I guess I don't have a lot of confidence in my layering yet. And I always worry I'm overdoing it. All right, let's see. Go backwards so we know what to do. Okay, so this stick I definitely want to squish in there good. So it's on like the third, 1, 2, 3, so like the third rung. And this is just kind of where the specimen hits that little curve. Okay. Try to get these in the right spot. And I'm just going to throw this down. All right. I am going to use art glitter glue because, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll use Fabri-Tac. I might use Fabri-Tac. I think Fabri-Tac will hold a little better. It takes a little longer to dry, but with all the mixes of the fabrics and the mediums, I think I'll use Fabri-Tac. It might show through this a little bit, but it should be all right. Maybe I'll try to just put it on here. It doesn't have to be super solid glued. But Fabri-Tac does work on wood, so I know I can put it on this stick. 1, 2, 3. So this hole. Get a decent amount in there. Make sure I can squish it in there. I wanted it a little bit recessed so that the bird will lay on it better. All right, that should be all right. I don't think I needed this first, and if I do, I'll just pull it back off. I needed that first. I was wrong. All right. I don't know if I had the hole on that side or not, but it's almost the same either way around, so it should be all right. All right, so 1, 2, 3, so about here. Let's put a little more glue there. I should move my journal just because I'm afraid I'm gonna get glue on it. Oh my gosh, come out. Yeah, this is the cover. And today I did the cover on last Friday. Today I am doing the cover. I just said the name a while ago. Now it's totally went out of my brain. What is it called? Not a tag. Topper. Topper. I'm gonna pull it off of here because I just don't want to get glue on it yet until I'm ready to get glue on it. Come here, dragonfly. He's got sticky on him. Everything's sticking. Okay. Move that aside. Okay, back to where we are. I'm going to zoom in just a little because I'm really far out today. I don't know why it seems so far out. Y'all remind me to pull back up because I will forget for sure. I could make myself a little note, but all right, that way you can see a little bit better. Here, let me just make myself a note because if I don't, you know I'm going to forget. First, I'm going to put me some tape there and pencil. Okay. It says pull camera out. That way I hopefully don't forget and leave you all zoomed and you're not seeing anything. It's been so cold, guys. I know we're having this crazy cold everywhere. And I'm in Georgia, so we don't do cold. We do get some cold, obviously, but typically it's not as cold. It was 10 degrees last night. I thought I was gonna freeze to death. I don't do cold. I told my husband, like, if it gets below 70, I'm freezing. I am not, my body is just not cut out for it. And he had to like work in a warehouse today where they were keeping the doors open and stuff. And it's like, oh my goodness, I would die. All right, do I want to ink this? I don't guess it really needs it. We'll leave it like it is. You've been in the negatives without the wind chill. Yeah, you need to move, girl. Who else was I was talking to that said it was so cold like that? It was like 30 below. I think it was somebody, was it Gail Augustinelli? I think it was Gail. I was watching her, and I think she said, is she in Missouri or, I don't know, someplace cold. I don't know where it was, but wherever she was, it was like 30 below. I'm like, that's crazy. That's like weather I expect to see in, like, I don't know, Antarctica or something. Not here. But I guess it does get that cold. I've just always lived in warm places. I lived in Indianapolis a little bit growing up. But as a kid, I don't think you notice that stuff the same. All right, let's see if I can get this in the right spot. I think pretty much center. If it's wrong, right? But yeah, I don't do cold. Just don't. There's a little white spot on this. I think I will ink that because it's going to just bug me. It's just on that antenna there. That's better. Yeah. But it's supposed to be warming back up a little bit, at least until I think it was Saturday, and then it's going to get cold again. We didn't get any snow though. We got a little bit of freezing rain, but we didn't get any snow. My daughter was so upset. She's never really seen a lot of snow because she was either in Florida or San Diego growing up. All right, let's see. I think I'll let this be off the edge just a tiny fraction. Leave room for my birdie. You only hit 60 in Arizona? Oh, wow. See, I missed that. That's what I loved about San Diego. It hardly ever, I mean, the coldest I think it ever got when I lived there was like maybe 40, if that. Because I remember freaking out because I had guppies back then. I had about 1,000 guppies because I was an avid fish keeper. And I had them outside in a, you know, the big half barrel things. And normally they're fine outside, about 50 degrees. But at that point, then they'll start dying because it's just too cold. And it was getting really, really cold outside, and I was like, oh no. So I'm out there in the freezing cold trying to get my guppies out of the tank, out of the barrel, and into little individual tanks to bring in the house. It was crazy. I still ended up losing like 11 of them. I was so sad. I don't know why I'm not using my tweezers. I had them right there. Okay. I don't think I want it on the flower. I think I want it off the flower. All right, that's good. This mushroom, I might ink that if I can. It's so tiny, I don't know if I can ink it or not. This is from that 49 and Market set, this little mushroom. It's a little small for that Fabri-Tac. I might have to use the art glitter on it. My Fabri-Tac is it's got a much wider bead than my art glitter. Somewhere about there. That glue will dry clear, although I might wipe some of it off if I can find my little rag. Where are you at, little rag? Oh, there you are. All right, that's good. I'm missing the birdie. I think this will be a cute little topper. He's got a little burr on his head. Little scissors. Get that burr off your head. Just a little bit. I made it worse. Here, ink it up. All right. I'm gonna have to hold this one. He's got some teeny little feet. Teeny tiny feet. Don't know if I can get glue on them or not. I'll try. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna put him right there so he's looking up a little bit. I'll hold that for a minute. Let's try to grab that corrugation. Yeah, that's gonna work okay, I think. All right, that's not bad. Does it need more color or anything? I don't think so. I thought about doing some different color splashes, like maybe gold or something, some more spatters on top. I just don't know if it's too much. All right. Looks good. All right. So I don't think it needs this botanical. We'll save that for something. I think that is plenty on it. And then we'll attach it with some Fabri-Tac. Make sure I'm the right way. Yeah. Writing looks the right way. I have to look and see where the pocket is. Let's see. So this has got a fairly wide spine because we're going to put a lot of signatures in there. Well, not a lot. We're going to put 3, but it'll bulk up. So I wanted to keep it somewhat. So the front of it will end up being about here. So I just want to make sure that I stay centered from that point. Let me see. I need to zoom back out just a fraction. And here, I'm just going to lay this here. so I get it in the right spot. All right, so that'll be good. That's cute. And hopefully this Fabri-Tac will hold it fine. I think it will. I left enough flat area that it should hold just fine. If I can get it to come out. And I don't know how people who have the outdoor type craft rooms, you know, like in barns and stuff, are handling this cold. I was watching, was it Melissa with, is it Miller's Rustic Mill? Is that right? She was like outside. She had like 3 layers of clothes on and hats and scarves. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I would die. I couldn't work because my hands would be so cold. There's no way I could work. I don't think I could do it. All right, I think about there. I'm just going to give it a good push and hopefully it'll hold okay. So, how is everybody doing otherwise? Anything going on in your lives? Are y'all working on journals, doing anything? What are you doing? I made a little woven paper video the other day. I posted it on my YouTube. I don't know if y'all saw it. I'll show you the tag in a second if I remember. I always say that. I'll show it to you in a second, then I forget. I'll try to show it to you. I've got it sitting right here next to me. All right, let's see if that's holding. I could always put weight on it or something later, but I think it'll be fine. So that's going to look like that. What do y'all think? Cute. All right, I can move my little thing and pull this camera back out a little bit. Oh no, I might leave it there. It's not. No, I'll pull it out. I'll pull it right there. Otherwise, I'll end up out of camera. All right, so let me show you the woven thing before I forget. Oh, I have glue all over my fingers. My hands are falling apart. I have put lotion on my hands like 20 times today and Neosporin because they just keep cracking. And I'm allergic to like mineral oil and stuff, so I can't use most lotions. I can't do any petroleums. It's not coming off. All right, let's see. So I made these. Aren't they cute? So there's woven scraps of paper, and then I'll turn them into tags or something. But I made a little quick, one of the little short videos and stuck it on my YouTube, so it's on my YouTube. I'll link it to my page in a little bit. I just did it earlier and I haven't had a chance to. But I think they're cute. They're great backgrounds, and it's a great way to use up scraps when you have just little like 1-inch pieces. So that was fun. Did that. Y'all like these scissors? These were passed down to me and from my grandma. Well, my mom. Mother-in-law. I call her grandma because it's kid's grandma. My mother-in-law. They're little like, what do you call it? Is it ginger? They're nice little scissors. They're kind of hard to hold, but they're very sharp. They're cute. I thought they were cute. Dave gave them to me. He's like, "You think you'll use these?" I was like, "Sure, I'll use them. Probably not using them in the right way, but I'll use them." I'm sure they're not made for cutting papers. All right, so let's see. So we need to figure out signatures. So like I said, I'm going to do, I think, 3. Let's see. Make sure that's holding. I think it's holding fine. So I tried to to get some kind of ready. So I went through all of my papers, Kirby Teasdale, probably Theodosia. Let me see what else I went through. I forget. I pulled a bunch of papers. So Kirby Teasdale, one of my favorites. It's getting a little thin though, guys. I got to get some more of it. I get this at Hobby Lobby. It's probably one of my favorite packs. It's a very, very nice pack. Tattered and Worn. Got a couple from here. There are some things in here that are very kind of natural looking. And it's great for just base colors. And then this ephemera one. Butterflies and such. A lot of butterflies. So I pulled some from that. And then, I don't know if I pulled, I think I might have got a couple from Haberdashery. In here too. I feel like I did get a couple from Haberdashery. But so far, what I'm looking at, I think I did 7 pages, maybe 8. Let me see. Some coffee dyed. Some coffee dyed with stencils, like this is an essential stencil, Stencil of the Month Club stencil. So, and then paper on the other side, and then I glued them with my glue stick. So there's 2 pieces, so they're kind of thick, and then they're not all that way. Some is just straight coffee dyed paper, like this, just straight coffee dyed paper, and then some grid paper. More coffee dyed. This is from one of those pads I just showed you. Which one's it from? It is from Ephemera. And this one, it had a little extra because the piece I had was long, so I just folded it over. I'll just turn it into a tuck. But this side, what I did is I took my... I call it a beehive stencil, but it's not. It's, what is it? What do they call it? A hex penny tile? Is that what they call it? I think that's what they call that. Let me see. It should be sitting right here. I think it's called penny tile. I don't think it's of it. Yeah, they called it penny tile. So I used that and sprayed some sprays through it. Acrylic ink type sprays, transparent burnt umber with some water in it. And then I took my Distress Oxide and Black Soot on an acrylic block and just splotched it, sprayed some more, and then I did the I think that is warm amber, what's it called, wild honey. I think that's what that is. Oh, I don't know. It looks, it might be. They look, so many that look the same. Maybe it's mustard seed? Maybe. It might be mustard seed. I don't remember. Let me see if the mustard seed looks closer. Yeah, it might be mustard seed. It's either mustard seed or wild honey. One of those. And then I sprayed it with some water to oxidize it a little bit. That's what I did with that side of that paper. It turned out better than I thought it would. I was just kind of surprised. So that's what that is. And then that was a stencil on coffee dyed paper. And then this is out of one of those ones I just showed you. So how many was that? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7. And I'm thinking 7's probably going to be about right for 3 signatures. 7 pages each, so another butterfly one. This one I just, I took the stencil, the penny tile stencil, after I had used it, and I used it on the reverse image, just whatever was wet on there, and that ended up giving me that. I also folded this over a little bit, just turned into a pocket. Some more coffee dyed grid paper, a couple of tea dyed, and then I think that's Kirby Teasdale. Let's So another 7 there. And then the last one, that's probably also Kirby Teasdale. And I just backed it with a coffee dyed stencil page, tea dye, grid paper, and I tried to keep them similar. This is the only one I have in here right now that is the haberdashery. Oh, it's upside down. I probably have the whole signature upside down. Hold on. No, I got one page upside down. Let me check. Yeah, because that's right. Let me make sure that's right. Don't want pages in here upside down. I'll end up putting them in upside down. So I have this from haberdashery. And then this, which I did sew around this one. I debated on sewing around all of the ones that I glued because it is just a glue stick that I used. And, you know, who knows how well it'll hold up. It's a permanent glue stick, so it's the better of the glue sticks. It's this, the Tombow one, which tends to be pretty good. But, you know, glue sticks in general aren't necessarily the best thing to use. But I'm thinking, I ended up not sewing around all of them because what I'm thinking is I'm going to put lace on a lot of these edges because I've got a lot of room here. So because I'm planning on putting lace, I think I'm going to put that one in the middle. I'm going to sew around this edge anyway. And honestly, that's probably the only edge that would end up giving me any issues if it did start peeling apart. I mean, right now it feels pretty secure. And the ones that I did like 2 years ago that I used the glue stick with are still holding just fine. So I think it'll be fine, but I know a lot of people don't like glue sticks for that reason. But anyway, so 3 signatures. You can see that once we start putting stuff in them, those are going to bulk up pretty good. And if I have it in here, like this, it's still giving me probably about an inch left. As I ended up making this really big. I don't know why. But I'll have plenty of room. My point is I'll have plenty of room for lace and ruffles and things like that. So because I plan to sew those things on the edges later, I don't think I'm gonna worry about sewing them now because it'll be fine once I just sew that on there. So I think that'll work for our signatures. We've got a decent variety. I debated on adding doilies and stuff, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to keep it like this. I'll add things as we go and we decorate the pages, so it'll definitely get, fancier. I'm debating on if I want to cut these a little more even. Right now, they're kind of uneven because I didn't make them smaller as we got toward the middle. But I don't know if I'm going to bother because I'm going to put lace on them anyway. It's probably not going to matter. I don't have a lot of pockets that it would interfere with. I do have a pocket there, so like I couldn't trim that edge because it would affect that. I'd have to take off the pocket, which isn't a big deal, but I would have to because that's one of the ones that sticks out too far. So I think I'll just let the lace do its job and hide all that being a little bit uneven. But that should work. I have a feeling once these get filled up and they spread out, they'll easily take up that 2-inch spine. So that is my plan. So that's where we are at on that. And I'm not going to sew this in until they're done. Mainly because I do want to sew lace on the edges. 1 and 2, I really like having them loose to work on them because it just makes it so much easier for me. It is sometimes a little more difficult when you go to sew them in and they have all the decoration on them. It's a little more difficult, I would say, but I've done it enough times. I think I can do it. I might fight with it a little bit. We'll just say that. So for right now, I'm going to figure out a pocket. So I feel like it needs a pocket. I always like pockets because, if I do the which I will do, a writing. I could put it here for storage, or I could put it in a pocket and leave this for some other types of storage. But let's do a pocket on that. I just got to figure out how I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I have no idea. Some sort of contrasting stuff. So let's put this signature up. Let me find my clips. What clips do I want to use? Just use this. Let's go over it. Yeah. All right. Let me set those aside for now. Make sure I'm the right way. I keep looking to make sure this is on the right. I need a little tab there or something. That pocket is very hard to find. Even knowing it's there, it's hard to find. All right, let's see what materials I got for a pocket. Get this back in its container. Patterns. My stencils are taking over, guys. Oh, okay. Whew, wear myself out just doing that. All right, fabrics. Let's see. I'm leaning toward fabric because I like a soft pocket. Well, I like fabric on my journals a lot more than I like the hard ones. I don't know why. So let's see what looks pretty in contrast to this material. So I have that. I don't know that that's contrasty enough though. The black is probably too contrasty. Maybe not. This was that stamp one that has all the different, it has all the states with, I guess, plants and animals that go along with it. I mean, Maine makes sense to me because it's got blueberries. Iowa's got corn. Indiana has a cardinal. I mean, I guess that's the idea, is that I don't think are they state plants and birds, and maybe. I don't know all of them, so. But it is cool. It's still very nature looking. I could use that. The colors are good for a pocket. It's not bad, actually. So maybe this has more bees. Also bees, not terrible. The yellow and the white. We don't want the same as on the outside, I don't think. And then that one that's just kind of contrasty yellow and it's supposed to be black, but it doesn't really look black. It looks more gray. Any thoughts, guys? I think, gosh, I like a lot of them. I'm thinking when it's a pocket, it's going to be just a short piece too, so I'll lose a lot. States, I'm leaning toward the states too, Dawn. I think the colors are better. And you'll still get a lot going on because there's so much going on there. So I think you're right. All right. I'll just have to figure out what section I want. They're all different directions. They're not just like all one direction. They're all upside down in different directions. So it's not really going to matter. Although I will want a nice edge on it. So, gosh, I didn't want to have to grab my sewing machine out. I could just glue it over and throw some lace on it. So I don't have to grab my sewing machine. Although I'm probably going to sew it. I don't know if I'm going to sew it. I feel like I should sew it just to make it match. So it matches better. All right, let's figure out a piece. So, just looking at it. It's kind of crooked, so I'm going to try to straighten. I bet it's not on the grain. I bet the pattern's not on the grain. Let me see. It doesn't look like it is. because everything's very diagonal. So I don't know if I want to cut against the grain. I feel like I need to, just because. Is that the grain? It's really hard to tell. I don't guess it's exactly the grain. I don't know. Let me tear a piece and I'll see. I'll make a ruffle out of it or something. I just got to see if it's on the grain or not off this top piece. We'll make it big enough to make a ruffle later. Let's see. Yeah, no. Pattern is definitely not on the grain. Interesting. You would think they would make it on the grain. All right, so with that in mind, I'm going to go against the grain, which isn't something I would typically do, but I really think it being wonky would bug me. So let's see if I can get this to cut. On this diagonal. Wouldn't that bug you? I don't know why they didn't put it on the ground. You would think they would, but I guess, I don't know. I guess they have their reasons. So I'm going to try to, because most of these stamps seem to be very even directional. Do you guys see it too? It's not just me, right? It looks very kind of sideways. I'm going to try to cut it right there. That looks pretty close. All right, where's my little rolly thingy? I don't know what you call these. I just make up names for stuff. Rotary cutter, is that right? I know the names, but half the time I don't use them. Oh my gosh, what is under there? There's nothing under there, right? Nope, just my horrible mat. I gotta find where it was. Rotary cutter. Yeah. See, I know them. I don't know. They pop out of my head and then I don't know them. This blade needs changed, I think. But I'll try to get it to kind of work. Nope. Maybe. Oh my gosh, how did it get so dull? Granted, this is probably not the best surface right now. Oh my god. Okay. I have a blade. I don't know. I'm not going to bother right now. I do have a blade. I have a new blade to put in it. I just haven't done it yet. Yeah, it's really not cutting. All right. Where is it at? No, I'm not supposed to have to do all this stuff. Rotary cutter. Rotary. All right. Where to hide ya? I'm seeing every blade except the right one. Oh, there it is. No, that's an old one, isn't it? Yep, that's used. That's not the new one. Okay, I could be wrong. Maybe I don't have a blade. Really? Oh, what am I pulling on? I'm still attached with my mic. Really thought I had one. Ah, there it is. It was just really hiding. It was hiding well. Okay. This one is obviously not very happy. See if I can do it without chopping my finger off. No clue how to do these things. I say that. I know, it's just not. I don't know because I don't do it very often. Okay. All right. New blade. Let's see if I can get it out of here without cutting myself. I don't like blades. I don't like messing with blades. I'm sure there's probably a safer way to do it. All right, that looks correct. Is that right? Or is it on the other side? Gosh, guys, now I don't know. On the other side? Oh my goodness. Does it go on this side or this side? I don't know. It has to go on the other side, right? Really don't know. It seems like it fits in there. It just looks more seated there. I don't know. Can it go on either side? Y'all tell me, can it go on either side? Am I doing it right? Honestly, I feel like I'm not. No, that can't be right. It's on the wrong side. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Mark things when you take them off because you'll never remember which way they go. All right, get in there. I feel like the guide should be on the other side, right? This should be on this side, right? I'm really failing at this, guys. Okay, why is it not seating in there? Does it go on the top? It's not seating, so... Man, I'm failing. Okay, there's like a shape. I'm trying to look at the shape. Flat edge. There's a flat edge. Okay, it only goes one way, so it has to go that way. It's like that little flat spot is only on one side. Okay, so it has to be on the top. All right, then you turn it over. I hope this is right. I really don't know. It feels wrong. But it goes on the... I remember seeing it on this side, so that must be right. Right? Gosh, I don't know, guys. Now I feel like I've done it. Does this look right? I feel like I remember seeing the blade on this side. It must be right. I guess. All right. All right, old blade. All right. Let's see if that works. Let's see. Hopefully I did it right. You can tell I don't use it very often. I gotta find the cut. Where's it at? It's also longer than my table, which isn't helping at all. Well, it definitely cut through better. All right, I just gotta get it off where I can't reach. Okay. Okay, so we got one piece down. I'm going to sell this one to you too. You buy all my journals, Dawn. I appreciate it. All right, let's see if I can find how far I want to be. So I'm thinking, I feel like I need to sew it or something. I probably do. Should I get out the sewing machine again? Let's see, so we'll cut it, I'm looking at what's the best part to cut off. I think I'll cut it right here where this Michigan one is. And then that'll work to where these are. I'm sure it'll still be a little wonky, but I'm going to fold it under just a, I don't know if I'll fold it under. Maybe I'll use the crimping? No. Gosh, guys, my brain. These things. It's not crimping. What is the word? Lord, I don't even know. Okay. So we want our pocket to be maybe to about there. So I'll leave room to fold over. So I'll go to here and then I can fold over a little bit, because it doesn't need to be that deep. So we'll go about there. I want to cut off this one section just by hand because I'll never get it right. How many up is that? 4? 1, 2, 3. About 4. Where's it at? There. Okay. I need to get it so I can lay it back down. Oops. What are they called? Pinking. That was the word. What would I do without y'all? See, you guys help me. Help me figure out words that I can't remember. Some days I remember them. Some days I don't. No clue. Oh my goodness. That one's not going to work. All right. Try this again. Pinking shears. Okay, so we'll go to here. That should give me plenty extra to fold over. Well, I could go there. Nah, it's fine. I might just use the pinking shears on it and sew it. I don't know if I want to fold it or not. I don't know. I can't do. I'm deciding. I just don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It cuts so much better with a new blade. So much better. All right, let's see. Still looks funky, but it's better than, it's just a weird, it's got a weird diagonal to it. Just the way they made it. It's not my fault. All right. How do I want to do it? Oh, I didn't go all the way. It's fine. I think I'm in the right spot. I hope. If not, I'll be cutting another piece. Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. So if I use the pinking shears, it's gonna, I mean, it should keep it from unraveling. I could always throw an edge of lace on there or something, I guess. See how crooked? It's still really funky. I don't like how funky that design is, but it's still cute. It's not. It's just weird that it's so diagonal. Okay. Let's see. I know I have lots of laces. I put this little black and white one on there. I don't know if I showed you all that. I did it after the live, so. Let's see what else I have. I've got more of that. I could always just use that. I don't know if I have enough of that. Let's see. I also have just white. I think white's too much. That's too plain. I don't know if I have enough. Let's see. Do I? Yeah, I do. I could just add more of that. It would be enough to just seal that edge, I think. If I want to glue it on there. Yeah, maybe I should do that. I don't think I have enough for the bottom, though. Let me see if I have any more of it anywhere. I don't think I do. I know I have, like, other colors. Oh, I have that beehive stuff. I've got some just regular black. It's got bees. Yeah, that doesn't work because it's too white. It looks weird. I have some ticking kind of looking stuff. Is that what you call that? I don't know. See if that's too stripy. Yeah, I don't like that either. The honeycomb's not bad though. I could put that down there. But then I don't want to cover up my sewing. I mean, once I glue that to the bottom, it probably is just not going to fray. So maybe I'll just use the pinking shears on it. Ideally, I want that. But I don't think I have any more. I have polka dots. Let's see. Let me see. My mic isn't going to reach over there. Do I have more of that? Black and white. No. Nope. Don't see any. That's the last of that. I don't know where I got that. Where did I get that? Merchant? Where is that? Oh, it's not Merchant. I don't even have the container for that, so I don't know where I got it. Could have been Dollar Tree, could have been Hobby Lobby. It's hard to say. Alright, let's just pink this on the edges. I just think it'll look a little better if I use the painting shears on it. It's going to be messy though. Alright, let's see. And then I think by the time I glue it, it'll be fine. I just think that this will give it a little, I don't know, more decorative edge than the other. I'm amazed that these scissors still work, because I've had these for a really long time and I've never had them sharpened or anything. I don't even know if you can sharpen painting shears. I assume you can, but it does amaze me they still work. Okay. And then next week we'll start adding ephemera and stuff and get to decorating. I don't really need to do that pinking on the top, I don't think, because I'm going to glue it to the lace, to that ribbon. It's so hard to tell. There's not really a top or a bottom because there's so many that are upside down. Like I could turn this either direction and there's still some that are right side up, but I feel like there's more right side up this direction. Just a few more. All right. So many little critters on there. So Fabri-Tac and hope for the best. I think it'll be fine. I think I'm going to stay inside this sewing though, so. This is just so crooked. I don't know if I should, maybe I should cut it just, it's like, do I cut it not on the line so that the line on this is crooked? There's no, because the two aren't, they don't line up. I feel like I might have to cut it just straighter on the edge and I'll just go into the stamp more. This side's not as bad. It's only a little off. But this side bugs me. I'm going to go just a little bit in, I think. I think that's the best way to do it. I don't want the edges to be odd. So let's just go in a little bit on this side. Yeah. And then we'll go just a fraction there. And it'll just be the design itself will have a little bit off. I think that's the least of the two evils for this particular fabric. All right, that's good. Good enough for a pocket. Well, 2 pockets. Hopefully I've got room. I'm half tempted to cut it down the middle. Because all of this you're not going to see, because that's going to be underneath. If I bring that over, I want to have the pocket as big as I can get away with. So my writing board, if I do decide to go that route, will fit in there. And if I cut it, because I went a little short, or I could just cut another piece, but I don't want to cut another piece. I think I'll split it and not put it here. Let's do that. All right, we're just going to see if we can go down the middle. Kind of, sort of. It's so crooked. Such a weird fabric. I didn't even notice it when I got it, that it was that off. All right, we're just going to go for it. I'm going to cut it and do 2 separate pockets because I think it will be better. All right, 1 pocket there, 1 pocket here. Is that the direction I wanted? I can't tell. The bird was up this way. Definitely had the little birdie up that way. And this side, I like the butterfly. I'm debating which way looks better. I don't know, maybe this way. All right, and then we're just not going to have any in the middle. I don't exactly know where this ends. I feel like it's about here. Because I didn't really, I have a thing I made. Let me see, hold on. Let me see. I want to kind of know where it's going to be. It's really hard to tell on this one. It's just an odd, I haven't done this thick of a spine on a soft one yet. It can be done, it's just, I think it's a little tricky to figure out where the center is and stuff. So I'm just going to mark the center so I know. That'll make it easier, I think. Right? This seems logical. Let's do that. So 14.5 would be, it's a chalk pencil. 14.5 would be 7 times 14, so 7.25. Alright, we're just going to put a little mark there. Can I see that? Kind of, sort of. So 7.25. Alright. It's not real visible, but it's visible enough that I can lay this on here. Technically that's the top, not that it matters, but I'm just going to double check. I need a clip. Clip, clip, clip. I just want to double check that it's looking about midway. It feels right. I think it's right. I think so. All right, so with that in mind, this would be where my last signature is going to be sewed in. So the pocket needs to be no further than, say, about here. So we're going to try to keep the pocket out that far. I mean, it doesn't really hurt if it comes in too much, but there's just no reason for it. All right, it's the cardinal. There's the cardinal. All right, so we'll do that. So about far. Yeah, we got a little room. I'm going to take off just a fraction. I really wish I could get it straight. Do I have a square? I do have a square. I know I'm being a little OCD about this, but the pattern is really messing with me. Because there's no great way to make it straight. Alright, that's pretty good. Let's see if I can... Yeah, that was never going to show. Let's try this brown. The brown show. Let's see. Kinda. Kinda, sorta. Horrible, horrible. Alright, I'm going to cut it there. And I'll just measure the other one from this one. It'll make it easier. And try to get them the same. Somewhat the same. Okay. I hope this works. This has been a challenge. I really like the pattern though, so it's a good choice for the pocket. It's just a little challenging. All right, so I like the B the right side up. I think I can't decide. I like the cardinal the right side up, but I also like the B the right side up. I like them both, but oh well. One's got to go upside down. This one, I think I like the birdie right side up. Wow, that looks crooked. How did I manage that? Goodness gracious. I can't cut a straight line, guys. I know it's probably the fabric that's messing with me. We're just going to straighten it because it's really going to bug me. All right, hope those pockets are big enough. They seem small. We'll just make a small writing board, I guess. All right, let me get this thing hung back up. I've got a little hook here for it. Okay, there. Okay, now we're going to glue it. Hope for the best. Okay, so we'll put that on last. Close that down before I chop my fingers off. Put up my pinking shears. Grab my Fabri-Tac. All right, let's go for it. Let's just go for it. So, where do I want to put the glue? I think I want to put the glue on this. It's down yet? Come on. Fabri-Tac gets thick so fast. It's great when I first buy it, but boy does it get thick fast. Get a nice bead on here. I probably should have glued that lace on first. Darn it. Oh well, too late now. Already got the glue down. I'll do it with the other one. I'll have to put some acetate under it or something. If you glue your lace on first, then you don't have to stress about that as much. Oh my goodness, glue come out. Why are you fighting me so much? All right. Hope I got that on. By not putting the pinking shears on that one side, it does help me to remember which way's up. All right, let's see if we can get this on here. Just like that. Okay. I'll try to pull it somewhat snug because you know it's always going to loosen up a little bit. Try to make sure it's snug. All right. Do I want to put the lace on first or just, I probably should. Honestly, I really should have. All right, that's fine. I'll make it work. All right, so here to here. For this one, I'm just going to throw something under it. What do I got? Is that wide enough? Yeah, that should be wide enough. I just don't want to glue it to the journal. Oh my goodness. I gotta wait another hour. Waiting game. Come on. Oh my goodness. Take off the booger. Oops. I got blades in my way of my wipes. Yuck. There. Can't tell if it's coming out. Alright, where's my lace? Is this the piece? Nope, that's too long. Must be this one. There's a front and the back to this stuff, so there. Make sure that's not going through. Okay, I'm gonna try to leave that for a second. This one I'm going to put on first. So that direction, yeah. That way I don't have to worry about it as much. So let's see. Here. That's fine. You lay down because you know I'm going to have to pull your ends off again. All right. It might go through to my table, I don't know. This is a relatively thick fabric, so it's not too bad. Okay. Trying to keep it straight. I can do it without making it crooked. Definitely goes through. Oh, not too bad though. Not too bad at all. All right. So now we can put the glue on this side. It feels like this edge is cut off right here, but it's not. There's a bird there. It's just the same color. I keep looking at it and thinking I chopped off a corner, but I didn't. Don't glue to my table. Doing good, guys. Ah, it's too thick. I'm probably off camera. Hopefully it's not too bad. Man. Yeah, time to get more glue. This on here. Start on this side and try not to touch all the glue. All right, let's see if we can flatten that. I'm going to stretch as much as I can. Let me see. I'll pull you out. Make sure that that's not sticking. Looks okay. All right, it's cute. I think it'll be all right. Get all this glue off my fingers. All right, this seems okay. Ideally, I should probably leave something under there for a little bit, but I'll find something else if I do. That piece of acetate is not great. Let's see. I had a whole bunch of acetate in here, but it keeps breaking. This particular acetate is really fragile. It's cracking on me. I have a whole thing of it somewhere. All right. Let's see. Just to be sure. I don't want it to stick. I have another big piece. Where is it? Yeah, I'm not finding it. All right, I'll have to use this little piece. All right, that's fine. As long as the middle doesn't stick, it'll be good. These used blades somewhere. I have 2 used blades, so now I need another backup. It's like, it's fine for paper. Honestly, I probably need one for paper and one for fabric of those little rotary cutters. That way I'm not dulling it on my paper, and because it'll work on paper, it just won't work on fabric anymore. Okay, so that is cute. See if it's drying. It's drying pretty good. You can tell because it doesn't feel cold once it dries. Okay, so that'll be cute. All right, I like it. I think we're good. What y'all think? That look good? And then we'll be able to put things in the pockets, whether it's the writing board or not, I don't know. I might end up putting the writing board in there. Do you think I need a tab there to show this pocket? Or is it absolutely not necessary? I'm trying to tell if this is dry. I think it is, but I just want to be... Yeah, it feels dry. Okay. That should be fine. All right. So that'll be cute, guys. Where's my papers? Lost them. Oh, there they are. All right, we got our signatures. So, like I said, next week, well, not next week, Friday, this Friday, we will work some more and we'll start decorating and stuff. But I think that is good for the cover. Hopefully y'all like it. And I think that's plenty of it. It's possible it's too many, but I think it's plenty. It should grow easily. I mean, I've still got, if I squish it, the trick is supposed to be if you can squish this together, you're good before you get anything in there, because by the time I get everything in there, then it'll come back out. So it should be fine with that much. So I think it will be just lovely. All right, guys. Whoa, I'm not out of focus. Focus. I'm waiting. Catch up. Is it good? There it goes. It's good. Okay. I got too close to the camera. All right. So that is the start of our journal. We've got the cover done. I'm good with that. And our little pockets, I think, will work out fine. They're a little wonky, but, you know, it is what it is, because it's just a wonky fabric. And then we'll start decorating these guys. All right, guys, so let's call it a day, and I will see you guys on Friday, and we will work on this some more. All right, guys, y'all have a wonderful rest of your, a wonderful next 2 days, or whatever it is. It's not too long. And stay warm. Oh, it's crazy out there. Don't freeze. All right, guys, y'all take care. I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.